Do any of you have a specific character type you gravitate towards, and why? I noticed I tend to prefer the isolated women for the tragedy of it all. They hold way too much sorrow, and meanwhile there's me tapping into it quietly with her pen. Well, more like a keyboard in all honesty. Do you think my wrists can handle that pain? I wish. So, which character types are your favorites, and why? Credit to Reddit user, so you think you're able, for starting this thread on the fanfiction subreddit. And let's go read some answers. Which one has their life together the least? That one. The grumpy asshole with a shitload of trauma. Profile pic tracks. Accidental parental figures and the child or teen they've unofficially adopted after a strange series of events. Essentially, shit, that was horrible. Anyway, I guess I'm your dad or mom now. Nothing hits me like this one. Characters like, my parents were kinda shit, so I'm not having kids. Passing trauma down is not fun. A random kid that reminds them of themselves exists. The characters like, ooh woo, parental instincts intensify. Prissy men, lol. If I had to pick one in particular, it would be the wise old mentor whose age is so ancient that they may as well be immortal, whose wisdom may sound like gibberish, but always makes sense in time, such as Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda. Characters like this are so interesting to write because of their kooky yet intelligent nature. Love it. Characters with traumatic pasts, or at least vague enough pasts that it can be inferred they were tragic. Give me all the angst I can mine. The traumatized children who I want to hug so badly. Mothers or mother figures seem to pop up as a protagonist in quite a few of my fics now that I notice it. The teachers or mentors. Even when I was a teen, I just didn't care about the characters who were around the same age I was. I only had eyes for the mysterious and cool mentor. Severus Snape, Kakashi Atake, Satoru Gojo, Shota Aizawa, Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's my type. I can sum it up in one word. Kudere. Both male and female characters. So the type who is cold and strict or harsh, but is soft inside or with the right people. They develop the cold personality because of past hurt and insecurities, and don't want to be hurt again, so they push people away. Or they're just naturally like that. That's good too. Complex villains who are sympathetic but still messed up people, and totally have a soft side for at least one other person. That and tsunderes. Not the comically violent type, but the I don't know how to deal with the fact that I care about you because of pride, or you're supposed to be my enemy, or insert other reason here, so I'll act all cold and prickly instead. I don't know, I'm weak for both of these. I like seeing a more vulnerable and caring side to someone who seems generally cold or cruel, without having them completely lose that edge. You know what? Bonus points if the complex villain is the tsundere. That's my jam. Trash. I love them, but I also want to throw them in the dryer at high speed perm press cycle. Twice. Avengers. Don't know why. I love angry, vengeful people. They're so driven. Characters who are scary looking, or punks, or physically intimidating, but have soft hearts. Also works if they just have a bad reputation or are violent but not traditionally intimidating. And they get extra special bonus points if they're particularly protective of someone. Himbos. I love writing them, especially the ones who are aware they're goofballs or utter dorks and fully embrace it. Cinnamon roll characters with adorkable tendencies. Bonus points if there's a lot of potential romantic interest around for them to have a happy relationship with. Characters who go through trauma but still feel hopeful for good despite it. Whether it's because of spite, because of optimism, or even because they're blinded. I just love these characters. I want to dissect their brains. I love characters with immense power who can't control it. The walking time bombs who are afraid of themselves and afraid of what they will do to the ones around them. They are afraid to love and be loved because they know if they lose control, it could be gone in an instant. A walking, talking example of incredible professionalism, using that attitude to cover up various traumas. That and villains turned heroes. I just like it when bad guys realize the error of their ways and have to deal with everything they've done. Pathetic motherfuckers. The kinds of characters that stress me out when I think about them because there's just too much wrong with them. For some reason, a lot of them are blonde guys. Most of them act playful or smug. Most of them are delegated to comic relief. Most of them are side or full-on background characters. I just see a pathetic man and my brain latches on, and it tells me, you're going to lie awake at night thinking about this creature. I watched Demon Slayer and got so freaking mad watching the intro because I saw Zenitsu and I knew in my freaking bones that he was going to be my favorite before I even knew his name. And then he was, and I don't know why because he sucks. Intelligent character with a touch of deep-rooted crazy. Tired authority figure that's done with your shit. Non-humans, specifically can't have a human face. Why am I like this? Men who aren't actually men. Monsters, robots, aliens, ghosts, I don't give a fuck. Just not human. I'm so darn tired of human men. Right now, it seems to be the woman who dares defy expectations, who may or may not also need a shitload of therapy for the trauma I've given her, and a random male close to her who'd really not want her to do what she's doing. Badass female main character with trauma. After looking over some of my favorite characters, I have Bucky, Loki, Zuko, Kaladin, and the Mandalorian. I like them tall, dark, handsome, and broody with a traumatic backstory. I don't have a character type. I have a type. Period. I'm using fanfiction as an escape to enjoy the guys I would never dream of dating in real life. Is Loki a character type? Because that's pretty much all of it wrapped in one. Dark, broody, funny, weird, sexy, magical, damaged. The asshole that gets a redemption arc because they aren't actually a bad person, just a person coping badly. Two of my favorite characters are the wholesome younger siblings of fan favorites, so I guess that's my answer if that quantifies as a character type. The depressed gay ones are the ones I find to keep gravitating towards, perhaps because I too am a depressed gay. I like funny characters that are always smiling and joking around, but actually are pieces of shit, menaces, threats to society. Villains, if you wish. The quiet ones with a lot of emotions. People tend to find them hard to write, but it just comes so easily to me. Grumpy academic types like Nicholas Rush, Annalise Keating, and Aizawa Shota. I think I both relate to their lack of social graces and am attracted to their intelligence. Mean women. Mean, small, and sad inside. Bonus points for terrible life choices and or homicidal behavior. Extra bonus points for wild hatred from the fandom. Cocky, but also more emotionally unavailable, women with pent-up emotions who end up hurting others when they think they're doing the right thing. Especially if they're cowgirls and it's in a Western setting. I like characters with really bratty energy, even in totally PG contexts. Like coy, witty, flirty if it's romantic, sassy if it's not. Good of heart, dumb of ass, repressed individuals in combination with a sensible and patient romantic interest. Mine are the brooding, intelligent, quiet man with an uncrackable shell and a tragic backstory, and the rich, crazy psycho bitch with daddy issues. And I love throwing them together and watching the mess they make. Yes, same except flip-flopped for me, the broody, intelligent woman and a rich himbo man with mommy issues. So fun. My boyfriend describes my taste as pretty girls who are suffering. Some of my recent favorites include Carla Delgado, Rose DeWitt Bukater, Isabella Madrigal, and Akita Soma. And though the degrees and circumstances to their trials vary, they all have some sort of sadness brought on by isolation and people just not understanding their circumstances. And all start their journeys to change by having someone who does notice, or at the very least, wants to. Self-hating loners mostly, especially if their arc is about opening up to people. A dark-haired guy with a tragic backstory, who is always dressed in black and is in a bad mood, and is kind of an asshole, but if you get to know him and you're nice to him, then he's very sweet. And the light-haired bisexual guy with 3 brain cells, and he uses all of them to be the most adorable person you've ever met. And then they get married. People who have hit all-time lows and rose up again. They don't have to be good people, they just have to be better than who they were. I sympathize with those people, even if I don't condone many of their actions. But they're also the kind of people I believe in, and I hope they get the support they need. That guy who was orphaned as a child and grew up to be a grouchy asshole. I love him, even if the whole fandom labels him as a toxic and abusive boyfriend. Whatever. That girl who was kidnapped as a young child and turned into a formidable assassin. Love her. Don't condone the killing, but I do sympathize with her. Her life was ruined and she was acting out of duress or possible threat to her life. Even if it's one of those reasons, I'd love her and believe in her. The boy who bullies others due to severe abuse at home. Hate the bullying, but still sympathize with him. I love characters like that. They're not just born psychos. Something made them turn out that way, and I just wish they'd have a chance to turn their life around. I think that many would try to if they had someone believe in them. And I do. I love reading about people who go through serious redemption arcs. Slightly feral women who could kick my ass 7 different ways but never learned how to be a person. Traumatized pretty boys who've learned to use their weaknesses to their advantage, who have questionable methods, silver tongues, and good hearts. Grumpy assholes who are secret idealists deep down. Whimsical, floaty, slightly unstable girls who talk in riddles but have too much of an agenda to be anyone's manic pixie, thank you very much. More generally, I like characters who are more complicated than they look, and who are psychologically damaged in more interesting ways than just tragic past, so I'm sad. I mostly write character studies. Even when I try to write other things, they just end up being about psychology. So I want a character where it's fun to get into their head and see how they work. Mr. Darcy in every shape and form. Big thank you to my Patreon members, my Little Ruse, Kuski55, Fallen Vexen, Sam, Donka42, I Am a Noodle, John Huang, and Fantastic Wreck. Thank you so much for your extra support on Patreon. It means the world to me. Thank you for being here, and I hope you guys are doing well, because I believe in you. You guys rock. And the same goes to my YouTube channel members, my Mini Ruse, AD, Taylor Thompson, Foxstar Killer, DeBella, and Logan. Thank you for your extra support. I'm so glad to have you be a part of my channel, and I hope you guys are doing well. Keep on being awesome. And last but not least, thank you to everyone else who watched. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know, what are your favorite character types that you tend to gravitate towards in different fandoms? Do you like them grumpy? Do you like them sweet? Do you like the most evil villains ever, or the most innocent little babies? Let me know, I'd love to hear about it. And I will see you in the next video.